Welcome to part 32 of the day of the Lord is a day of darkness. Day of the Lord is a day of darkness, part 32. Let's get on back into this footage. I'm looking for more Easter eggs.
Look back at Bible prophecy in the Old Testament, it all makes sense now, but at the time it was people thought this was going to happen and it didn't happen. People thought something else would happen and it didn't. The same with Jesus coming and then expecting the Messiah to be this war hero to free the Jewish people from the Romans, and it wasn't that at all. But Jesus...
Yes, they expected Jesus to be this great big war hero. Funny that how people always expect Jesus to be polar opposite of what he actually ends up being. Would you know your Father in whatever form he come? Very doubtful. You didn't even know the angels when they came to you. How would you know him?
Tells us it's important to watch and to look for the signs of the times, just like the fig tree, and many things are happening that really look like this is beginning to take place and these prophecies are coming to their fulfillment. So it's important to watch, but when these things if they don't pan out how we expect, or if they're like beginning stages or seeds or whatever, then it's important to watch and to just see how these things pan out in the end. But clearly, all of these things moving towards this direction are moving towards the direction of the final days and the Antichrist coming and these final prophecies being fulfilled. Also, I know I've seen many people on my TikTok page saying that they're worried and they're scared and they're fearful. None of the pointing out of prophecy from me is ever meant to be fearful or to scare people. And to note is 2 Peter 3:13 through 14, which really came to me at the perfect time when I was really meditating on how to share this to people so they aren't scared. And then that just happened to be the verse I was reading that night from the Bible, Proof of God in my book. And that's one of those little ways he speaks to you when you're seeking him. And it says, "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Therefore, beloved, looking forward to these things, be diligent to be found by him in peace, without spot and blameless." So really that we look forward to the coming hope and Jesus Christ coming back. So we don't need to fear. We don't know the timeline. We don't know if this is the beginning of the 7 years or if it doesn't start for another 50 years. All we need to do is seek Jesus Christ, seek the truth. He calls us to watch for the signs, so it's good to watch for the signs, and then live life righteously and according to his ways. Don't have fear. Be looking forward to the things, because what we have coming for eternity, billions and trillions of years, is beyond anything we can imagine and how great the glory will be. So there's no reason to fear, and if anybody here actually does go through some type of hard thing, such as martyrship or severe persecution, we're told that if we share in the sufferings of Christ for his name, the glory and the reward that we have will be tremendous in heaven. So everyone in heaven who is persecuted for Jesus or his name or the cause of Christ, they are not disappointed that they went through that, because the reward in heaven is beyond anything we can imagine. So no fear of the times that we're in. Just wanted to mention that for people here. But absolutely what we're seeing between Catholicism, Islam, and Judaism is a uniting to come together for peace and safety.
That actually opened already. It's been operational for months. I tried to tell you all this stuff was coming. Let me get the next footage. Alright, let's break into this.
The state of Israel.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I already did that. This isn't a new video. I was just getting new footage. Sorry, I just hatched a dud Easter egg. Oh, just kidding. Let's get on back into this footage.
Has to protect itself, has to protect its children, has to protect its land and its sovereignty for future generations. I got to meet an amazing man who I believe was played a pivotal role in the history of the United States with President Trump, and especially here in Israel, and that's Aryeh Lightstone. He was a top aide to Ambassador David Friedman and a main part of what happened with the Abraham Accords, which the Trump administration did not get the credit that it needed, that it deserved, for one of the most historical documents and compromises made here in the Middle East, in modern history. I mean, it was literally shifted the geopolitical system here and brought essentially peace to this part of the world. And the Biden administration has basically, turned over, destroyed everything that President Trump has done. And it is sad, but I was so grateful to meet Rabbi, actually, Aryeh Lightstone, who worked so closely with Ambassador David Friedman on this. And he told us this fascinating story about the background of the Abraham Accords, also what happened with the movement of the embassy from Tel Aviv, moving that embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
Just so you know, this was from 2 months ago. 2 months ago, this video was put up. Just to let you know. And she's talking about the Abrahamic Accords and whatnot as well. So let's get into a little more of this.
And I hope to bring him on the show so he can tell his own stories in his own voice. But I got to tell you, it is so significant what happened here in Israel during the Trump administration and the great work that Jared Kushner did should not be underestimated. It is probably one of the most important things because it has kept this part of the world from dissolving into, into another war. And what we've seen under the Biden administration has been that reversal of everything that the Trump administration has done. And you can see the tensions rising. You see Iran becoming more emboldened. You see Hamas and Hezbollah acting up again. You see the Palestinian movement. Again, another, what we believe might be another intifada on the rise, another war against Israel. And all of this at the same time, the Biden administration is handing the olive branch to the Iranian government, pushing for reigniting the JCPOA, which is the Iran nuclear deal. And it is absolutely the wrong way to go. It is shifting our world in the wrong direction. It is emboldening our adversaries. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about why this affects you and every single American. And guess what? Guess what? Fact, fact, fact. Well, I have been here in Israel with Tom Homan and talking to Israeli counterparts in the Israeli Defense Forces and talking to experts here that deal with border security. The Israelis already know that Hamas has been working with the cartels in Mexico. Absolute fact. They've said it on the record. They know it's been happening. And Hamas has actually assisted and aided the cartels in making tunnels, very similar to the same tunnels that I have seen here and I've been invited to with Israeli Defense Forces. So we're going to talk about that and so much more. But first, my good friend Eduardo Verastegui, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am for him, Mira Sorvino, and all these other phenomenal actors who have now finally gotten the platform that they need to get the movie Sound of.
Okay, I want to back up for just a minute. I want to be sure that you all got what she said there. think I went back.
It is emboldening our adversaries, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about why this affects you and every single American. And guess what? Guess what? Fact, fact, fact. Well, I have been here in Israel with Tom Homan and talking to Israeli counterparts in the Israeli Defense Forces and talking to experts here that deal with border security. The Israelis already know that Hamas has been working with the cartels in Mexico. Absolute fact. They've said it on the record. They know it's been happening. And Hamas has actually assisted and aided the cartels in making tunnels, very similar to the same tunnels that I have seen here and I've been invited to with Israeli Defense Forces. So we're going to...
You hear her talking about these tunnels. They've actually been putting them all over the place. The U.S., everywhere. Don't think that they haven't. You would be foolish to think that they don't have these tunnels built to take them wherever they want to go. Where they can do things anytime they want to. They just go through those tunnels and boom, they're wherever they want to go. And nobody sees anything that way because it's not above ground. You understand?
Talk about that and so much more. But first, my good friend Eduardo Verastegui, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am for him, Mira Sorvino, and all these other phenomenal actors who have now finally gotten the platform that they need to get the movie Sound of Freedom out. Sound of Freedom. This is about trafficking, the trafficking of children. I've had a private screening of this film.
Oh, good. She's bringing that up. The trafficking of children is biblical. It is actually in the Bible. And there's some people that got angry at me because I pointed that out. It's not pleasant. I didn't say it was pleasant. I just said it was biblical. It was prophesied in the Bible. The Lord said that because they had sold his children, he would sell theirs.
Actually saw it in Mexico City with Eduardo, and it is a phenomenal film. Every year, and I want you to listen to this, every year, over 2 million children are trafficked around the world. You've seen my reports. You've seen what we have shown you on Fox News and here on the Sara Carter Show. Now there is a new movie aimed to raise awareness to this often unseen horror, folks. The Sound of Freedom from Angel Studios. The release date, Sound of Freedom. It will be in theaters in the United States on July 4th, 2023. Please go see the film. Everyone must see it. It is an incredible film. It is a great film. The actors are phenomenal in it, and every single one of them wants to see child trafficking end. Every single one of them. I'm working with them. They're working all over the world in an effort to stop child trafficking, but we can't do it without you. Ticket information. Purchase tickets online. New theaters are added daily, so check the website for current information at angel.com/freedom. I want to say that again. angel.com/freedom. I was with Eduardo in Mexico. I was with Rosie Orozco. She's been on my show, former congresswoman from Mexico who now lives in the United States and works with me on fighting human trafficking.
All right. I wanted to include all that stuff in the footage. There will be a link provided if you choose to watch the rest of this. I am going to get the next footage up for the next video. I will see you in the next part.